Hello, and welcome to Zoom 101. I am Valerie Huerta, Director of Organization with New Mexico Farm and Livestock Bureau. This presentation is brought to you today in the hopes of making web-based meetings, specifically Zoom meetings, a little easier to create and navigate. With that being said, let's start zooming away. There are a few different ways to access a Zoom meeting. Once created, there are many options available to use during your Zoom meeting. This presentation will cover the basics of how to create your Zoom account using the Zoom app, how to create a Zoom meeting or using Zoom through the web browser, how to join a Zoom meeting, and some useful tips for participating in Zoom calls. Let's get started with how to create a Zoom account. The first thing we're going to do is open up our web browser and type in www.zoom.com. Once on the Zoom website, there are a few places you can sign up. Signing up is free. It's just a matter of entering your information. Remember, free Zoom accounts have a meeting limit of 45 minutes. If you plan on having a meeting longer than that, you may need to look at the purchased version. If you're a county farm bureau, contact the state office and we can assist you with this process. Let's go ahead and click here. Once you click the sign up button, it's going to verify you're over 18, and by doing that, you must enter your date of birth. Once Zoom verifies your date of birth, it will ask you to enter your email address. It asks for a work email, however, it will also accept a personal email. Zoom will send a confirmation email to the email address you entered. Go to that email account, click on the email from Zoom, and confirm the account. Once you confirm the account, you'll have to create your account. Go ahead and type in your name and a password. Once you create your account, Zoom will ask you to invite others and start Zooming with you. You can add emails or skip this step. For purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to recommend skipping this step. Great! Now we have our Zoom account created. Let's go ahead and take a look at how we can create a meeting using the web browser. Let's go ahead and go back to zoom.com and sign in. Once we're signed in, we're going to want to go to the Schedule Meeting tab. You can find this under the top right corner of the screen. Once you're in the Schedule Meeting window, you can give your meeting a topic name, enter a description, such as county meeting, enter a date and time, duration of the meeting, and make the meeting reoccurring. This is great if your county meets monthly. Typically, your meeting requires a password or passcode. Here you can allow for your participants to stay in the waiting room and allow them in one at a time. This allows you to manually let them in. If you choose you as a host, you want your video on or off and participants' video on or off automatically. You can also make this adjustment when you're in the meeting. Here you have your audio, telephone, computer audio on both. This is important as you may have individuals calling into your meeting. This allows for diversity in your meeting. If you have individuals who don't have computer access, this allows them to call into your meeting. The last thing you'll want to do is hit the save button. Once your meeting's created, your invitation will be available. This is your meeting link. You'll want to copy this link and paste it in your email that you send out for your meeting. You can also copy this invitation. You may also put it in a calendar invite when you send an email to your board or to your members, reminding them about your county meeting. So now we have our meeting scheduled on the web browser. Let's go back and take a look at what it looks like on the Zoom app. You can download the Zoom app from Google Play or the Apple Store. Once downloaded, it's pretty simple to use. Here's what it looks like. If you want a real-time meeting, you're going to want to go to New Meeting. To schedule a meeting in advance, click Schedule Meeting. To enter a meeting with ID and password, you'll click Join Meeting. I'll show you where to get the ID and password here in a bit. Let's see what it looks like to schedule a meeting on the app. As you can see, scheduling a meeting looks very similar on the app as it does on the web browser. You have your topic, your start date, your time, your duration, if it's a reoccurring meeting, your meeting password, your host and participants video on or off. Again, here's that telephone and computer audio. Allows for both participants who are on a computer or telephone to participate in your meeting. And that meeting invite link looks very similar on the app as it would in the web browser. This is your meeting link. Here's that meeting ID and password that I was mentioning earlier. These numbers here are numbers that individuals would use to call into a meeting. It's kind of important to note these numbers are not toll-free. So if you're using these numbers to call into a meeting, there may be a service charge depending on what carrier you have. So once you have your meeting scheduled, let's look at what it looks like to start your meeting using the Zoom app. Using your Zoom app on the home screen, you should see your meetings for the day. If you don't see your meetings for the day, or you want to see meetings scheduled for other days, you can click the Meetings tab here at the top. All you do for that particular day is go to Start Your Meeting. Let's look at how to join a meeting someone else has started. There are a few ways to join a meeting someone else has started. One is to click on the link for the meeting. If you're not the one who created the meeting, then the link is usually in the email or the calendar invite someone sent you. The other way is to click the Join button on the app and enter the meeting ID and password. This is the Join Meeting link that I was mentioning an individual will send you for joining a meeting. Here's that meeting ID and passcode. If you don't have computer access, you can also join the meeting by dialing in. Participation is limited to voice only as slides and screen sharing can't be seen. Once you join your meeting, It will prompt you to join with computer audio. This is very important. If you don't click join with computer audio, your participants won't be able to hear you. Great, now we're in our meeting. Let's get some tips for a successful Zoom meeting. So we want to make sure we dress like we're at a physical meeting. It's not recommended to be in pajama pants and a nice shirt. The camera can see many different angles. Try to avoid bright lights as they can cause a glare. Bright colored clothing can also cause a distraction. Having distractions behind you can also take away from the meeting. Use the mute button until you're ready to talk. This is very important. Not having the mute button on can have distractions in the background while other people or presentations are going on. Know the tools for managing your meeting. Make sure your Zoom account app is open when you click the meeting link. This is very important. If your Zoom account on the web browser or your Zoom app is open and you click the meeting link, it will take you directly to the open Zoom account or Zoom app, which is a lot easier. And raise your computer or your laptop to eye level when you're in your meeting. This is very important if your computer screen or your start video is on. Having good eye contact in a meeting is important. Let's take a look at some of the tools in managing your meeting. Here you have the screen in a Zoom meeting. This right here is your mute button that we just talked about. If the red line is across the mute button, you're on mute and they cannot hear you. Next to the mute button is your video button where it says start video. As you can see, the red line is across the video, which means the video is not on and they cannot see you. If the video does not have a red line, that means they can see you and your video is on. The participants button right here shows how many participants are in the meeting with you. This chat button right here allows you to chat to everybody in the meeting or certain individuals one-on-one. It's a great feature if you don't have adequate internet and you can't talk in the meeting. You can chat to everybody or just certain individuals. This share screen button is also a great feature because it allows presenters or certain individuals to share screens such as agendas, minute reports, membership reports, and so on and so forth. And the record button right next to it allows you to record your meeting so that the secretary or anybody in the meeting can go back and review the meeting and decide what needs to be in the report, or if they left something out in the report, they can go back and add it in. It's a great feature. And lastly, this end button ends your meeting. So we hope this and all the other tips in today's presentation helped to make Zooming that much more easier. Please feel free to reach out to us if there's anything we can help you with in setting up your Zoom account or your meeting. Happy Zooming!